Good morning, freedom fighters. It is 8:15 a.m. East Coast time, July 20th, 2025. Some very unusual cell phone tower activity this morning. I want to show y'all. Very unusual that all of the cell phones are pinging at one time across the southeastern United States. Dozens of these towers are activating. Has nothing to do with birds. Even across Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana. I think I'm not sure the state on that one. Sorry if I'm wrong. But the whole entire weather system is unusual. Microwave beams seen all through it. Energized. Seemed to destroy the storm. Massive microwave energy coming out of South Carolina. These overlapping neck shreds and these gigantic cell phone towers that we see today are not for us. They don't care if we know the rain or not. It is here to control the weather. These blue marks you see is the energizing of our atmosphere. Sorry about that. I lost my keyboard there. But you can see these individual cell phone towers definitely activating to something. I got a lot to show you today. The ships are back in the Pacific Ocean. That was not there 2 days ago. This is right now offshore California 17 minutes ago. These ships are not normal traffic. We do not divert our course on a vessel where there's no reason to turn course. They're gridding it out. To me, they're just destroying the Pacific Ocean. I don't understand their operations 100% at all to do with weather. But you can go back 2 days ago and these ships were not here. Has nothing to do with everyday ship traffic. Let's put it in play here by hourly and see these ships come in play. No ships through the 18th. Barely a hint of them starting their operation on the 18th in the evening. By the night of the 19th, they are out here in force. I can see at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different trails, but they just multiply as all the ships come into play here. Multiple ships going to the east and to the north. Not normal ship traffic. We do not divert our course like this guy did. Point A to point B. The only change in course we do is current and wind, not because we're putting out grids in our beautiful oceans. They can pay third world countries to do this to us. They will do anything they're told for money. I hate money. The greed of money is destroying us. All these fancy cars and houses and boats and planes are not going to matter very soon. The sands of Africa is still going off, even though they say there's some kind of disturbance here, but all of this is sand. I want to go over a sand making device. I've seen this on many different platforms, creating sand in the Sahara with tractors, and then they microwave the skies to produce the wind needed to push this sand wherever they want. Mad scientists, greed will destroy our planet. These people are creating sandstorms with equipment. Mad scientists is a real term. These people need to be shut down. These operations are ludicrous. Could you imagine on how unhealthy that operation is? I've worked as a farmer. I've had my face and nose just covered in black. It cannot be healthy breathing in that much sand. Moving on. Normal ship traffic does not deviate. I want to show you something really cool, though. I'm not in Alaska this year, but I can still see everything taking place. Here's the tender row at the Y and at the line at Johnson Hill. I know all of these vessels. Yep. That one's a big crab boat, but he's tendering right now. He works for Icicle, if I'm not mistaken. Not Icicle. Silver Bay Seafood. There we go. Anyhow, very neat to see my friends still out here, though. I can't see all the fishing vessels, but we can see the tenders. Brenda A. I see that boat all the time in Naknek. Here's actually a boat going to Naknek. It's a big purse seine boat that's been out here tendering. He's headed to Naknek. I miss Alaska, my friends. It's my first year, 15 years I'm not there. I've been fishing southeast a lot, and I can still see all that taking place too. All these are fishing boats I recognize, tenders. Moving on. This is a record year. The amount of people that will lose their lives this year due to weather manipulation warfare will be outstanding, and they will never admit to these operations because the liability of killing these people. They are burning it to the ground at the same time. 13 million acres of Canada has been scorched this year. 30,000 people has been forced to evacuate. Truly massive operation into the billions. Geoengineering Supertankers. Millions of acres on fire in Canada and Alaska. Not to mention also in the United States is plenty. Massive sandstorm operation out of the Africa. I mean, it just keeps going right on. Major typhoons. How major it was. Yeah, 75, but it's producing a lot of rain. I've seen some evidence of that. Moving on. Besides the fires, these ships really kill me because I know they're not natural. We do not turn out here for any reason. Back it up a little bit till right before dark. No reason for these ships to be turning out here or even making smoke for that matter. But there's the same reason aircraft don't put out ice trails for hundreds of miles. Neither do ships. It's not natural. It's them. World War II, they could create smoke screens by adding just a tiny bit of oil to the motor. I mean, it doesn't take much to produce smoke, but these have giant pots that burns on the back of them. I've seen pictures of it. Just so you kind of see what's out here. Super tankers of many different colors and sizes with pots that burns. There's two pictures of these vessels. One has the pot on. Excuse me. One is burning two pots on board, and one's only burning a single. But these are chemtrail vessels designed for what they are doing. Here's one with just a single pot burning. Very distinct things on the back of these vessels that are not natural. Part of the engine. Here's the engine smoke. engine exhaust, not smoke. But only one pot's burning on this vessel. And obviously Greenpeace somehow knew about it or tried to say something about it, but I'm sure they got shut down because these people are not what they seem either. This is how insane these people are. Sprayed with aircraft they claim is just ice, or spray with ships they claim is just smoke. Lies. They need to be arrested and fired out of a cannon. Microwave Energy's incredible what they produced last night. You can see the cell phone towers going all over Oklahoma too, as well at the same time. Nationwide outage with these equipments needs to happen somehow. A friend of mine was just asking, like, can't we fight this somehow? And I was like, it's trying to kill the bee's nest off with one bee at a time. We need the queen to stop doing this. We need the queen bee to stop what they are doing. Mad scientist is a real term. These people are crazy over greed and power and control. It's all just takes over your whole entire soul. That kind of want and of need and power and greed. Oh my goodness, my friends, we are in trouble. Let it load. Okay, this is the cloud system we're looking at. This doesn't really look normal. Just looks funny, just the whole flow of it, all these lines. Let's watch it on radar unfold. Well, it's working good. It's kind of glitchy, but you can see some incredible microwave beams here. That seems to really affect the storm. Almost undeniable that these are affecting the storm in every way possible. And also you can see the cell phone towers pinging. Kind of glitchy there at the end. Watch it one more time, then we're going to move on. There's a certain beam here I want to show you. That one. Look at this beam here from this neck shred. We are not seeing the effects of the satellites whatsoever. It's too high up in the atmosphere. The next lab is not picking up the energy from the satellites, but we are seeing the effects of the next rad direct energy weapons. But that beam shoots off. There's no cloud here, no rain. No rain here. As soon as that beam lights up, it ignites, in my opinion. Same size of the beam. Doing it all over it, but that's just that one area is like so distinct. Microwave energies creating rain. Put it in fast motion. Turn it on, turn it off. You can see all the towers. All the towers are pinging. See them 1, 2, 3. Sad, my friends, what they're getting away with. I can't believe it. I'm gonna leave y'all with a couple interesting videos. I understand how the currents of our ocean works, and there's no iceberg could ever reach the area where the Titanic sunk. I don't think it ever has happened in history, less that night. Very interesting story here.
Have you heard the theory that 3 billionaires who opposed the Federal Reserve? all died on the Titanic. That's not a coincidence. In 1912, the Titanic set sail with over 2,000 passengers. But among them were Benjamin Guggenheim, Isidor Straus, and John Jacob Astor, three of the wealthiest men in the world, and all three publicly opposed the creation of the U.S. Federal Reserve. They weren't just rich, they had power, enough to stop the banking system we use today. But none of them survived. Meanwhile, the man who funded the Titanic's construction, J.P. Morgan, was also one of the biggest supporters of the Federal Reserve. He was supposed to be on the ship, but he canceled at the last minute. No reason, no explanation. He lived, they didn't. A year later, the Federal Reserve Act was passed, with its strongest opposition conveniently removed. But it goes deeper. Some say the ship that sank wasn't even the Titanic, but her identical sister ship, the RMS Olympic, swapped in a massive insurance fraud cover-up. The wreck at the bottom of the ocean doesn't fully match Titanic's design. Different windows, inconsistent layout, almost like it was a different ship. So was it just an accident? Or the most elaborate setup in financial history? $3 billion.
Okay, most people don't realize that the Federal Reserve is not owned by the United States. It is a private banking system that loans the United States money. What a scam. And we turned all of our gold to these people in 1933. I would love to know the history. I wish I could ask my grandpa what happened right here. But they turned the gold over to the private bankers. Could you imagine going and turning all of your gold over to some private banking agency that's not the United States? We do not own the Federal Reserve Bank. It is owned by the Rothschild families. That's why the Rothschilds controlled both sides of the war. That was really true. World War II. We didn't win the war. It was an illusion. They owned everything once it was over. And they killed millions, 80 million people off. Malthusian theory. If you don't know what that is, y'all need to look it up. There's too many people on the planet, and they make sure of it all the time that it's not going to. They keep the population in check with these incredible wars as they're controlling everything. I know it sounds crazy, but if you do the research on the cities they built in Argentina in 1938 or so, they had all the money in the world. They could do whatever they want. We gave them all of the gold. You know what I mean? It's insane what I see in history, what taken place. Why didn't they speak up? Or maybe they did and they rewritten the history and we don't see these battles here. Our history has been spoon fed to us. Most people have no clue who these men are. They are evil. Look into the faces of the ones that's going to murder everyone on the planet, basically what I say. And how quickly we could turn the tables if I could get anyone to help me. We're about right here. That's all we got to do is all stand up. We cannot be controlled. We are allowing ourselves to be controlled. There's a reason they push faith out of our heart, the good out of our soul. We cannot do all these evil things to us with the Lord in our hearts. Commercial Fisherman standing by. I hope you understand why I make these videos. I'm just trying to show their evil and their evil plans. You'll have either a good day, a good night, a good morning, or good evening, whatever timeline you happen to be on. Commercial Fisherman standing by.